Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Comics. I'm your host Sean Fuller. Uh, this is the show where we shine a light on the incredible creators sharp, shaping the world of indie comics, arts, and storytelling. Tonight we have a very special guest, an artist whose work blends imagination, methodology, emotion, visual world building in a truly unique way. Joining us is Jocelyn Short, the
Hello.
creator the creator of Bearers, the Living Compendium Volume 1, an art book that serves as a conceptual Bible for a powerful new universe. In this world, the Bearers are soul conquerors who guide those who die along their final resting place, all while carrying the weight of their sacred, unwanted calls. The book is stunning, deeply symbolic, and packed with lore, design philosophies, and emotional storytelling. And today, we are going to explore Jocelyn's creative journey, the origin of the bearers, her process as a visual storyteller, and what the future of the universe might look like. So relax, grab a seat. Let's dive into another great conversation. So please let us welcome Jocelyn to Behind the Comics.
Hello.
I should have a cheer. I'm gonna put a cheer in so I can just cheer when it's time for me to introduce people. It's funny.
I was waiting for the sound effect to
You
come.
know, I have it.
All of the
I have it. I just
cheers.
haven't set it up. It's funny. Now let's jump into it real quick. All right. So for those meeting you for the first time, can you introduce yourself and share a bit about your artistic background?
Sure. Hello everyone. My name is Jocelyn Short. I am an illustrator and concept artist for the entertainment industry. So that is film, that is comics, that is video games, and I've done a lot of work in the indie space, also including book covers as well.
Mhm.
So I've done a bunch of stuff. A lot of
Those.
comic book covers, concept art for a couple of indie video game projects, um, and concept art for film as well, concept art for comics, helping people develop their comic characters and the look of their work, comic and everything.
Mm.
So, um, I've, yeah,
You,
that's what I've
you,
got
you,
going
you,
on.
she touch a lot of places. So what started you? Did you start this? What did you start drawing from like an early age, or this is something that come to you later, maybe college or something like that? How did you get involved in this space?
Well, I drew when I was a kid, and Um, I remember when I was getting ready to graduate high school and decide what I wanted to study in college. I had a choice because I had discovered like like a love for singing as well. So I had a choice between like studying art or studying music.
Mm,
Um, and I had chose to study art because I was like, well, I've always like done art, so I'd like to see how far I can go. Um, also because nobody in my family has uh, like everybody can draw to some extent, but no one's pursued it,
okay.
professionally as anything. So I was like, well, let's see how far I can go. So um, I started studying it in college at my community college, and then I had transferred to a 4-year university called the Academy of Art University, where I studied visual development, which is the pre-production process for animated films. So I did my coursework there and then graduated in 2017. And then from there, I took like a concept art mentorship, which helped a lot. And then I started vending at Comic Cons and different shows and everything, just to because I wasn't entirely sure like my next steps directly out of college. So I was like,
Okay.
well, I had been attending conventions since I was a teenager. And so I had seen artist alleys for years. So I was like, well, I think I can do this. So I started attending shows and vending at them. Um, and interesting things started happening. People
Did we lose you? It looked like she froze for a second, guys. So let's give her a few minutes to tap back in and let me know when you're back.
Oh, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
And you're fine. And I was gonna say that's sounds like you had a very interesting coming up story, and I was gonna ask about it because actually I really want to know when you first discovered your love for visual storytelling and world building.
Well, I love Disney a lot.
Disney,
You know,
okay.
well, growing up, I was definitely like a Disney kid. Um, you know, I was like one of those kids who didn't see PG-13 movies until I was like actually 13. So it was just a lot of Disney and animated stuff, and so you know,
Mm-hmm.
like that was what I was just into. And then I drew as a kid. So, you know, that stuff just kind of like uh felt natural. And then when I went to college, I remember like I was like, all right, I want to study art, but I remember feeling like I didn't want to do like uh fine art or contemporary art, you know, like art that
Okay.
specifically goes in museums per se. I
Wait,
wanted
there's a specialization for that. You could.
yeah, there's different oh yeah, there's different categories of, you know, which you want to pursue. And I was like, okay, I didn't necessarily want to do fine art or contemporary art like that way. I wanted to do art to me that felt functional. And not that that other art is not functional, but I wanted like art that was that felt like functional for a greater picture. So I was like, you know, I was looking for schools that had a major that suited that. And I was like, you
Hmm.
know, and that's when I had learned about like concept art and visual development, which is that's pre-production stuff. So that's like figuring out the look of animated films, figuring out the look of video games. It's character design. That's like um, storyboarding, all that kind of stuff.
I feel
So
like there's so much there, right? And there is. I'm not even going to take that away from it, because when you think about just the visualization of the characters of a book or even a video game, for example, it can go cyberpunkish, it can go cartoonish, it can
yep,
go stickish, it can go all the way up to 3D-ish, right? And it's like you get to decide that from the get go.
yep, yep,
so
yep.
so how does it feel like? Huh? As a I have to ask though. So, who was some of your earlier influence, like artists, authors, or storytellers, who shaped kind of like your creative distinction or direction?
I remember I was looking at uh there was a bunch of who was I looking at? Craig Mullins was an artist I was looking at. So he's considered kind of like one of the fathers of concept art. So he like worked on the OG like Star Wars films, you know, and that was before computers. So like that was them doing concept art like by hand and having to like know perspective and like draw everything constantly by hand on paper and like put the papers on the wall and everything. So I was looking at his work. I was looking at Ahmed Eldori, who's a concept artist I really admire. Alphonse Muka is a an artist. He does art in like a style called Art Nouveau. Um, I think from the 40s, 20s. I don't remember the exact time period, but he's a an older illustrator.
Trust me, we're not. We're This is not a quiz. We ain't go past no tests here. So,
um, I Albrecht Albrecht Dürer is an artist I like. Uh, oh gosh, there's there's a bunch of artists, and there's one I that his name will probably come back to me somewhere later on in this
yeah, it's
while
cool.
we're talking, but I can't remember it. Um,
But it's cool because it's because what that makes it sounds like you're very well in tune, like the older way of just doing stuff very manually, very um I won't say manually, sorry, very structured,
mhm,
and then that makes it so much easier to kind of just visualize how you want something to look from start to end, because you're just people that you're paying attention to or people that did that.
mhm.
Uh, so. That makes me want to talk about the story now. The world of bearers. Now, that's let's dive into that, right? Let's dive into the world of bearers. The living compendium. How would you describe the concept to someone completely new to the project, like people like me? Because it's a very it's very I saw it, it was very interesting, and I was like, wow, I need to understand how this works. So tell me
Okay.
about
Well, so do you know at funerals, you have pallbearers
it.
at funerals, and they escort the casket from the funeral to the gravesite, right?
Hmm.
So my bearers are like spiritual pallbearers,
Hmm.
to escort souls of folks who die alone to the final resting place they're choosing. So there's no casket, it's just a soul. And so, it's kind of like if you were to think of like Charon the Boatman mixed with Valkyries, kind of, you
Hmm.
know, um, and they're beings, and they escort you to your next place of like your next destination, and it's your choice. So they have the power to take you and offer you choice. Um, and there's different bearers who escort different kinds of people. So, for example, I have nurture bearers who escort souls of children, parents, who've died alone. I have flame bearers who escort people who've died alone by flame related means. I have mangled bearers who escort people who have died in like gruesome, macabre types of ways, you know.
There's so much there.
Mhm.
So, what was the spark, the original moment, why not you, that inspired the creation of the bearers and this universe?
They were just sketches I was doing, at one point. I forget the year, but probably 2017 or something like that. And they were just fun sketches. I was like, I'm gonna draw some like ghost ladies in some avant-garde fashion. And they didn't have a story or anything. I just wanted to draw something that I thought was cool. And then I was drawing them, and I turned them into prints, art prints, and I took them to BlurredCon one year. I think maybe the first or second year I did that show, and I had prints of them, and I had the Bearers logo on them. And mind you, they didn't have a story at this point, so I brought them to that show. Somebody had came to my table. They were like, "Oh, I really like this. Does it have a story?" I made one up, and they said they really liked it. And then after they said that, they gave me their business card and told me who they worked with. And this person was somebody who worked at Monkey Paw Productions. Um,
Mm,
and so they were like, I'm really interested in this. Would you be open to like talking to us more about this? We'd love for you to pitch this to us. So I was like, yeah, like I'm not.
I wouldn't say no. I would have been like,
I was like, I'm not gonna say no to that. So, I met up. Well, not in person, but I had a phone call with this person like that following week after BlurCon, and told them made up more stuff about this, and they said we really like it. And so from there, I worked with them on like developing a pitch deck for it, for it to be a film. Fast
wow.
right, right? Um, Fast forward to the end of that year, the person who I was in contact with, they left Monkey Paw, so I never got to pitch it to them.
Okay.
Um, but I'm still in contact with that person, and I still have the pitch deck. So I've just kind of been developing and fleshing out this concept ever since, to see, to try
There
and
is
make
no
it
such thing as
more.
lost work. That was a great opportunity because it then made you kind of put more effort in something you kind of just initially just thought of something.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of it to be anything, and then that happened, and I was like, "Oh, I feel it felt like okay, this must be something." Like if it's being, it felt like it was being thrust into like, "Hey, this is a real actual idea." Like I don't know, it just felt like a big wake up call, or
It
just like a big like, "Hey, this is this stuff you're making is real, and people want this." So make it
The way I say it is it over the discovery happens as long as it's discovered, right?
right.
And the bearers. I mean, let's go again. So the bearers have a powerful emotional purpose, escorting souls who died alone, right? So what drew you to explore that specific kind of storytelling though? Because I know it started off as a one-off idea, but then you kind of dive deep into this kind of ghostly realm thingy. So what made you kind of just go there?
Like what I mean, I'm into spooky stuff in general, so
I was assuming it's horror. I was gonna say like, why did you just turn this into a horror movie? I could see it. We could go. I could see this go so many different ways. A horror movie, like
mhm. Mhm.
we could make. I'm gonna stay out of it. I just crap me up with other stuff we can do with it. So So, but I'm gonna still talk about it because we're still on them right now. So let's go. I'll go all in. So can you walk us through how the bearers function in this world then? Because you define the world and the possibility, but kind of how is that interaction felt like with the souls?
How how is the interaction with the souls? Like, how do the bears interact
Yeah,
with them, you mean?
yeah. Because the way I look at it is like they have a function, right? They're each person that you describe has a role,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to visualize that. I'm liking the way you pictured it. You made a great picture, by the way. So I just loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, so it was kind of like, so if a child passed away, for example, even a child passed away that was burnt. Wow. How is that interaction felt like? What's the role of responsibility? Because you talk about them showing up, but they're showing up to what, nurture the child, or to talk to the person. Kind of see, because it's like they passed away. Aren't they supposed to be like, okay, thank you for showing up. This is your exit, right? Or it's like they're having a snooty moment, like you passed away. It's okay. There's a better story to come. It's kind of
um
funny. Don't mind me.
no, no, I mean it's kind of part of it, right?
Yeah.
So I like so there's a couple answers to your question. So
Mhm.
um the bears themselves, like they all have distinct, unique personalities. And the bears themselves, they were alive at one point, like they were living, like
Mm.
so they were living, but as bearers, have transitioned and become manifested as these entities, these you
Yeah, they
know
got a job after passing away.
you know and it's they didn't necessarily choose it. It's just kind of there's criteria for how someone can become a bearer, and
Mhm.
it's very random, um and so all that to say, like, they can keep a good bit of their personalities from when they were alive,
Mm.
as their bearers. So whenever they're interacting with whatever souls they encounter, like their personality is going to come through. um but
There's no drill sergeants in that group.
I mean, listen, I have war bearers, okay? So
Oh,
I have war bearers, certainly.
buckle up, soldier.
So, and then also, but something else that I have in regards to like their interactions with the souls, I have something called tenets that
Mm.
each bearer category has, for their souls. So like tenets function as things that I imagine that the soul didn't have at the time of their passing, that certain bearers would provide for that soul, you
Mm.
know, as providence for whatever their next destination might be. So like um nurture bearers might provide tenets of um nourishment, so like yeah, a warm meal,
Mm.
uh a hug, being held, that kind of,
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
yeah. So just like um
I
because I feel like they're very active, like dying alone, especially as a child, like that's extremely scary and lonely. So if you're met by this extreme presence of warmth before you even meet the bearer, because bearers are big. They're big. They're kind of giant entities, and so it's kind of almost like the tenants kind of function almost like be not afraid, like how they say for angels, they look so scary, but they tell you be not afraid before you meet. If you are to ever encounter a visualization of an actual angel, is pretty, like, its visage is terrifying, like it's all these eyes, and
Hmm.
it's very eldritch horror like, but it says be not afraid. And so the tenants to me are kind of like a visualization of be not afraid. Like, here's some things to help, before you get to me, take
Okay.
these.
That's tough. That's tough. There's a lot going on there, and I could feel it, and I felt it. So it's like, oh, such strong art. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I have to switch it up. So we're gonna switch to like the kind of process you went into, kind of designing and building these guys, right? So the art in this compendium is incredibly detailed and expressive. So how do you begin designing a new bearer, for example?
Um, I well, I won't start by like, hold on. It depends. It's different every time. I was trying to see if I had a streamlined thing, and I don't. It's because sometimes it's by whatever I decide, like the category is, like if it's a water bearer, or if it's a air bearer, or a justice bearer or something, then I might design based on that, like a theme. But sometimes I'll just jump into designing, and I don't have a goal per se. Like, I might have an idea, like I want to draw something that feels avant-garde and, you know, spooky scary, like in the realm of the other bearers, and then I'll decide what it is or what she is after I draw it. So, um it
So
varies, but oh, go ahead.
that is, yeah, no, because I was thinking about it from the standpoint of, so based on that, so which bearer design was the most challenging for you, and which one was the most natural for you?
Which one was challenging? Um yeah, I mean, I think maybe the mangle bear when I first drew her, just because there was a lot going on and I had to make sure it all read correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can pull up her design so you can see it. Um, Give me a second to find it. But yeah, her dress was pretty complicated. But the one that felt most natural to draw, I think, was Constance, the nurture bearer. Just because her design to me, like, is reminiscent a little bit of Glenda the Good Witch, kind of. um, so this is a Adisa Hero, my mangled bearer.
Mm, that's rough.
Yeah, that's her. And then Constance,
She brings
nurture
up.
bear.
I was gonna say she reminds me like a very. I was gonna say a spiteful bride. That.
Ah, I mean, you know what? It's interesting that you pick up on that because there's some of that in her backstory.
Okay.
It's not
Hey,
not.
who said? Hey, I'm hitting on 100 today. Yeah.
And then this is Constance,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah. She looks like a queen.
You know?
I can see that. I can see that royal procession off of her. Okay, okay. I love it. I love it. Oh my god. The art book feels like a like a concept Bible for a large story. How how intentional was that approach from the beginning? Like for real.
I well, I'll say this. I knew the thing I've always wanted to make is a coffee table art book.
Okay.
So that was that was just my goal. I was like, all right, I want like a big compendium. Like, I want an art Bible um of these characters. And that was my only thought. I now know that this can be used for film and for whatever else, you know. That this is a reference that I can have forever in its physical manifestation. But the thought was just, I just want a coffee table art book that is mine, of my own stuff.
Mm,
And that's kind of how all of this has been like, I can't see the bigger picture at first. I can only see the thing I want to make first, and then the bigger picture reveals itself to me.
that's hey, I like that. That's a quotable moment right there. I should snap it right there. Oh, yeah, because it's like it's all about the taking the first step that you recognize, and then the next step will reveal itself.
Yeah.
So, and that was so good. All right, so before we go to our next segment, I always say to everyone that joins me on this show, it's time for me to pay some bills. So don't mind me um jump into our sponsor, guys. Now, if you've been, we're back. We're gonna talk about let's talk about the sponsor. Let them run their work, and then we come right back to the story, guys. Ready, set,
This
go.
video is sponsored by mycomic.ai, the first of its kind platform built to solve real struggles comic creators like us face. If you've ever felt stuck trying to make consistent sales from your work, this is your solution. mycomic.ai helps you turn your comic into a real business and grow it into a full-time income stream. Check it out today at mycomic.ai.
Thank you, thank you. We're back. No, so let's talk about the story's potential for this universe. What you see the bearers expanding into. Maybe that's comic, film, animation, a larger project narration in the future. To me it sounds like it deserves um a bigger stage. But that's just me. Who knows?
I mean,
So
clearly you're not the only one. So
hey, hey. No, but it's but I'm gonna tell you why. Because it feels original. I think that was that. I think it feels like it didn't start off like a superhero manga or something. It starts off with a very specific kind of feel, which is I call it just like how Eren starts off. You know the anime Eren, where it starts off after they beat the Demon King, and it's like
I
life
haven't
after that.
I haven't heard
Okay.
of it, but I mean, tell me more, please.
No, I was saying that the concept of what happens after is
Okay.
how this book feels. It's like you're exploring the afterlife in a very unique way. And I think the way you're able to span the different from your wars to your nurturers to your it's like you get the opportunity to introduce different clients and how does that entire thing. So that's why I said expansive there. So from me, the continuum does hint at a broader lore. Are there any specific stories or characters you are excited to explore next?
All of them, just because, well, because to me, all of the characters are very interesting. Like the compendium has backstories for all of them, but also the second volume, I want to explore their kind of alternative forms. So
Ooh.
the way that they exist in volume one is their appearance in the bear's realm, you know. But in the second volume, I want to explore what they look like should they ever have to exist in the human living realm, um,
Ah,
which is a place where you should not see them. And so they don't appear how they should. So to me, they appear like something you should not see. They appear like,
that's interesting.
yeah, they appear like something
I'm
horrifying.
thinking Hollow from Soul Society.
Something very uncanny valley, something that, like,
Hey, but you just let everyone knows that. Listen, guys, you know what she just said? She just said there's gonna be a volume two. So get volume one, okay? If you're expanding this world into a sequel story, what aspects would you want to tackle first? Character arcs, origin world, or kind of more into the mythos?
I would I don't exactly know just yet. I
Hmm.
What I'm thinking of is I want to explore more, like maybe flesh out more backstory and character arcs for these characters, along with these alternative forms. Um, you know, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. I was gonna, what was gonna say? So before I even go on to the second section, I have to ask. So this is just pure European. So how does it feel like? Are you like the only one working on this, and how does it feel as the person working on this?
Um, how does it feel to be the only one working on it? I mean, it feels good because it's completely mine and I have control over it. The next thing I have to conquer is promoting it on my own.
Every
Um,
creator goes through that process. I swear.
yeah, this is the thing where I have a lot of resistance to it just because, the way I've described it to you and, kind of like you said, it's kind of heavy. Like it's not the lightest, punchiest thing. So I struggle, or honestly, the struggle is me thinking about it. I need to practice talking about it so I can figure out the best way to do it.
I hope that this conversation does help you in that manner because the one thing I would say is, and this is me being coming thinking about it as a producer, is I've recognized that a lot of content creators or people that have distinct IP like you have and like what I have as well, it's the building of it is the easy part for us. Like we could write 10 volumes of the same thing all day, but that doesn't pay anyone's bills. And
Hmm.
so we find it very hard to figure out that next step in terms of introducing it to other people who value it as fans, not just as spectators.
Right.
And that initial inertia, it's a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for all of us because every one of us feels like I'm good at this, I want to keep doing this, and sometimes the issue is you might have to get someone to help you with that part and just be like, "Yup, you got that. Don't ask me, I don't know." Or it's more like, all right, I guess I'm going to be talking in front of a bunch of screens and TVs and talking about my stuff. Either way,
Yeah.
it's a process that you get through, and when you get through it, the fun part about it is having people tell you about your story in a way that makes you be like, "Damn, I didn't even give it that much thought, but damn." And I think
Fair.
you felt that before when the person talked to you at BlurCon.
Mhm.
So it's like you didn't give it much thought, but someone kind of pushed you to go to the balls to the walls to it, and then now it's kind of the same thing. You have to do that again to get that experience again.
And here's the thing, I've done this a bunch already too at
Mhm.
conventions. Like I'm every time I go to a convention, I'm talking about bears because before it was this hardcover book, it was like a smaller,
Mhm.
like like uh I forget what,
Just the
just a
pictures, just
smaller,
the page.
yeah, just like a smaller booklet, and
Mhm.
I was bringing it to conventions and I was talking to people about it, and that was fine, but it feels bigger now because I made the thing I set out to make, which was this big hardcover. This I wanted a big hardcover coffee table book, and this feels very important to me. And so, when it was a thing that would, I don't know, this feels more serious because I wanted it to be, but now I have to talk about it like it's, I don't know, so it just feels like more pressure. So I need
All
to
I'm
get
saying, there's levels to it, man. There's levels to it, and
I need to.
I feel like you're gonna get it to the point you'd be like, "Yo, my stuff is on the White House. The people just looking at my stuff at the White House, like what?"
Oh my gosh.
So what? So let me, so let me ask. So we're going to skip to the next section, and we're going to talk about what do you hope readers feel when they open the Living Compendium for the first time.
I I hope they feel inspired. I really hope they feel like excited. I want to inspire a sense of awe. Like, like if you it's very, I feel like it's very rare these days when you truly look at something and feel a sense of awe about it. Like, you know, I really want people to feel that, because to me that feeling is very magical. Um and I just want to, and I want to give black people something cool. Like I want us to have something cool that is made by us, for us.
Mm-hmm.
So
For
it's
us, by us. Okay.
yeah, so it's made, something different, something very unique, something that also feels like timeless, but high quality. Um, I want to give us something amazing. So,
So what has all right? So let me ask now. So what has been the most rewarding part of creating this project thus far?
making this book, like getting it printed and having it physically in my hands, creating it, like creating the actual book has been very rewarding, and then getting it, like seeing it through from, conception to putting the dates on a schedule of when I would make everything, to, laying it all out and ordering it to be printed. Like the whole process has been extremely rewarding for
And
sure.
I'm going to talk to the audience right now because I want them to catch what you just said. Yo, the it's very hard to express to people the feeling you get when you have your hard work in front of you.
You have to get it. You have to see it through. Like I worked with a friend who was a creative coach for me, like during the whole process of making this a physical book, like
Mhm,
helping me lay it out. And he wanted to work with me because he specifically wanted me to feel that feeling of
mhm,
getting the book physically in your hands. Because it's like once you have that, it's like physical proof that like you can see something through all the way
mhm.
to the end, and you give yourself you just have proof, and now you don't have excuses because you've done it.
Yeah. And I always say the hardest part, once that's done, the hardest part of the game, I would say, congratulations. The hard part is done. Let's go to the next challenge. Like
Yeah.
everyone else sees this hard work. And,
Yeah.
oh, man. All right. So, as you know, this is going to be what, actually, this question before I go. What's one lesson or discovery you made about yourself during this creative process?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't say
I
it like that. Now I'm going to intrigue.
I mean, it was so much, like a part of it was working with my friend. His name is Jason Michael Primrose. And like we were looking at all the stuff I was feeling and experiencing while I was making this, because I went through a lot of changes, like, interpersonally, like while I was making this book. And some things I discovered about myself. I've been extremely harsh to myself, so unfairly. Like I realized how I was talking to myself about
Mm,
myself, and it was so mean and unfair and unproductive. I was like holding myself to very unfair standards. I was like, and I kept moving goalposts for myself. So I learned that there's like another version of ego. So like, there's an ego where you have bravado, where it makes you feel like you have to be larger than life. There's another form of ego that's self-pitying, that makes it feel like, um where it's like a constant feeling of I can't do it, or I'm not good enough. And
or this is not for me. This is for other people that have their shit together.
and so you move goalposts to reaffirm that, and it's like this is also ego. It's also something that's not true. So let's break that down. Let's, you
Mm,
know, like you you may not be at the skill level for whatever that you feel you may want, but also you're not terrible, and also you're not doing a bad job. Like you've come really far, you know. And like I've learned how, and I'm still getting better at it, but I've learned how to acknowledge more of my successes. Like, you
mm.
know, um, because when you don't feel like you do anything and you've done everything. So,
I, and I would say this, and it's especially amongst our community, this is a true thing. It's very hard to count your flowers when everyone keeps to tell you that your flowers ain't good enough, right? Because sometimes you have done so much, but people think that because you're not doing what these people are doing, that is not as valuable, and it's like, no, it's just as valuable.
but
Um,
the thing is, for me, it's been the opposite. It's been where I've had so much praise, like I've had heard pretty much nothing but good things. The enemy is me. It's truly me. It's
Um,
me just not believing them. Like just being like they gotta be there, they gotta be wrong. Like
I,
there's so
I,
much
I,
more for
I,
me to go.
I want to be one of the voices in that group that says, "Listen, it's I can tell you from just talking to you about the visualization that comes with it, that there's a lot there and it needs to be shared." And I want you to know that whatever person that sits in your head, tell that little person that we love them, and we're going to take you to the next step with us,
Oh,
even if we have to put you in handcuffs and push you down.
that's very compassionate. That's very
It's,
compassionate.
listen. Some days I have to tell myself, it's like, listen, I know, I wish I was way ahead of, especially when you fall back about when you fall back and you want to get back to where you used to be, you get back to what you call zero, and it's like it's far ahead and you can't get it. But it's like some days I have to be like, dude, we've been here before. We were in college, man. You remember college days when you just didn't know what you're going to do that day, but you know you had an assignment at the end of the week, like,
Mhm.
and no food for that day, like stuff like we ain't worried about the stuff that. Hey, I have ego. I have the opposite ego that you're talking about because, um, people used to tell me, say your problem is not the people get intimidated by the energy that you give off, and I'm like, I hope I don't get it, but okay. Because I felt like I had to be the biggest cheerleader for myself, and sometimes I fall short of that, and I understand. It's not the easiest, and especially when you're like the cheerleader for everybody else around you,
Mhm.
it's very hard to be the cheerleader for yourself. So I want to be one of those cheerleaders for you.
Oh,
Just like
thank you.
um, I want to see volume two
It's coming. It will be. It's gonna be real. Trust me.
because
I can't. I
volume.
can't. I can't make volume one. I can't name it volume one and not do volume two. Also, I know that it can be done. This is the biggest thing. Just like I needed proof that I could do it. You know.
Exactly, and it feels different because once it's done, it's kind of like, all right, well, I already have like 10 volumes in my head, but just seeing volume one makes me know volume two can come out, and all I really need is for volume one to pay me enough so volume two can pay for itself. And then this conversation keep running, but it's kind of
Mhm.
like I just want to make everyone. All right, so let me stop on my rant and let's go to the conversation that we're
Mhm.
having because we're almost wrapped up. So, as I asked before, I always tell everyone to be prepared for this question because it's always coming.
Okay.
What advice would you give an artist or creator who wants to build a large conceptual art like what you've done?
Um. What advice would I give to someone who wants to build like a
Do what
world
you did with this book.
to do what I did?
Mhm.
Um. If you have an idea, just show up and flesh it out. Show up. It, you know, doesn't matter if you think you're good enough to do it or not. Just make it. Show up and do it until it's done.
Mhm.
And then you can, and then you can look at it, then you can edit it. A friend of mine, she always tells me this advice. She's like, you can't edit what's not there. So, just show up and do it until it's done. And then you can fix it later.
I love that one. That one was that one hit different. It's like you can fix. Hey, I work on websites. Okay, I know that feeling. You know how much versions of a website I've had.
Mhm.
It just starts off like, well, I did it. I finally got out my system, and it was like, yeah, but it doesn't fit the way I wanted it to fit. Let me change this, and then you go through an entire process of just changing it, and you felt like you wasted time, but it's kind of like, well, it was better than you had a week ago.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
But you had to do that first draft, that first version of it to see what was wrong with it. So,
exactly. Sometimes what's in your head don't fake make it in the real world, but sometimes when it makes it in the real world, it comes out better than you thought. So what is the so first of all, I did this and I forgot about it, but let's talk about it. How can people get your work?
how can people? You mean like how can they purchase it, or how can they see it, or both?
Yes. Where can
Okay.
they Yes, we're talking
Um,
about this beautiful book right here.
okay. So if you want my book, it is on my shop. So, um, I can post the link in the chat here, but also, it's on my
Which is gonna
website.
be in the description, yes.
Yes. But it's also on my website. So jocelynshort.com, and then go to the shop tab on
Shoot,
jocelynshort.com.
why don't I have it here? Sorry, I thought I had it.
You have it up, but I can post the link in the chat also.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Just set it right quick so I can grab it because I made sure to open it.
Okay. I don't even know if. Oops. Maybe I can't.
Oh, there
But
it
I'll
is. I
post
found
it.
it. Found
You
it real
did.
quick. All
Okay.
right, let me try to get it shared. I should stick with the fact that this thing has your page on it, but let me just remove this real quick and do another presentation. There we go. Hello, guys. Look at this beautiful work right here. We want to show
Thank
the
you.
artist as well. Ta-da!
It's my website. But yeah, so you go to the shop tab up there. So and it'll click. You click on that, and it'll take you to my shop. And
Wait, is it
then,
not uploading? What? What? Wait. Oh, it changed because it changed site. My bad. That's what happened.
oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not sharing the screen. I'm sharing the page. So that's what happened.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. So if you click on the shop tab, it takes you to my shop. And then once you get to my shop, and forgive me, I have like the cheapest version of Shopify until I can afford to upgrade it. So you have to do a search. You have to go to the search bar and just type in bearers living or bearers compendium. Uh, yep. So the little search up there. Yeah, because you have to scroll through all of this. The cheap version doesn't let you categorize very easily. But that's all my stuff. I do have like my prints and my art books and desk mats and
So,
some
so
clothes
when
as
you're going
well.
at these Comic Cons, are these like your primary stuff you have, like your prints and stuff like that? That's what you bring to it when you go to Comic
Mm-hmm.
Con, stuff like
I
that?
have, yeah, I'll bring my art books, my art prints, the art books, and I have stickers sometimes, and I bring like desk mats to sell as well.
I was going to say,
Um,
do you do commission work while you're at Comic Cons as well?
I don't do like live commissions.
Okay.
I admittedly am not confident enough to do that yet.
Trust
So
me, I can't draw, so I am not going to complain about it.
I admire the people who do that. But also I like conventions and I want to enjoy them. And I feel like taking commissions, it's more money, but it's also just like more work that we get.
It's already
So
enough work to just try to get people at your booth, right?
yeah. So I mean, again, shout out to the people who do it because they do make that extra money and that is that's great, you know. Um, but yeah.
So, what are some of the best ways people can find your work? We just talked about on your website. Are you on social media as well? And is there any upcoming project you want people to support as well? Or maybe you're gonna be showing up at somewhere else that you want people to pop up.
Right as of right now, my next show that I'm gonna be at is BlurredCon next year. So that's gonna be early
I hope I
March.
get in too. I really hope I get in.
Oh, I hope so. But yeah, March, yeah, very early March, the 7th through the 9th or something like that.
Hmm.
And but yeah, right as of right now, that's my first show of the year. I don't have
Hmm.
unless something else comes up. But that's my first
You're
show of the
fine.
year. And I'll be bringing the compendium book there so folks can get it in person. Um, but yeah, that's all the other stuff that could be coming out is not fleshed out enough to talk about yet.
All
So
right, cool. So what we're gonna say is there anything special you'd like the viewers to know looking forward?
um just keep your eyes out. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on my website, but you can find me on Instagram mostly. Like that's primary. So which is just at underscore Jocelyn Short. And I have a newsletter, but Instagram is primary for right now.
And
Just stay tuned there.
my
All right.
final question.
Mm-hmm.
What does storytelling mean to you as an artist?
Storytelling to me means um, communication. It means emotional communication. Uh, so for me, freedom through emotional communication. Because to me, I like sometimes when I try to talk through concepts and things, sometimes I am articulate and fluent and, eloquent. And then other times I stumble through it. And I feel like storytelling to me um, is a way to emotionally communicate, and that is important for me as an artist, because I don't know, like, as I see right now, I'm struggling through this, trying to explain what it means to me, but why I don't know, storytelling to me feels like a cheat code, feels like an unlock, it feels like, if you have big feelings that are too big to just say normally, you need to storytell through whatever artistic medium you got, you know? So that's how I
All
feel.
right, all right. I want to thank you for coming out today and actually having this wonderful conversation with me. Jasmine, your work feels phenomenal, feels original. I look forward to seeing you in person and get the opportunity to talk, see your work.
For sure.
To everyone, please support her work. You can see, you can all her links are in the description below to kind of see where you can meet her project. Go to our website. She's on IG. She's I met her on Facebook, people. So she's everywhere. I hope not everywhere. And so so for those, I hope you enjoyed watching, hearing about the bearers, the continuum. The link is as I said in the description. Thank you very much. My name is Sean Fuller. This is Behind the Comics. Until next time, keep creating, keep imagining, and you will see you on the next episode. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for having me, and take care, everyone.
This was so fun.